Helo a chroeso I bodlediad newydd sbon, Clust Ddaear gyda fi, Ale Jones.
A fi, Jim Ellis.
Gyda'n gilydd, ni am ddod ar datblygiadau diweddarau chi o fewn amaeth yng Nghymru a thu hwnt.
O'r dechnoleg newydd a fydd yn traws newid ein ffordd o ffermio, I syniadau arloesol I adeiladu busnesau llwyrchus.
Cewch y cyfan a mwy trwy wrando ar y podlediad yma mwyn cadw'ch clust i'r ddaear.
Ond yn gyntaf, beth am gyflwyno ein hunain?
Ale Jones ydw I, cefais fy magu ar fferm fynydd yng Nghwrt y Cadno yng Ngogledd Sir Gyfyrddin. Bellach dwi'n gweithio fel surveyor siartredig sy'n arbenigo mewn tir ac eiddo gwledig. Dwi hefyd yn hwylusydd llawrydd a chyflwynydd radio.
A Jim Ellis ydw I, ffarmwr beef o Lwyndyris Henryn Llyn. Rydw I hefyd yn fideograffydd a mae gennym ni 2 gwyliau ar y fferm. Gynnau lot o ddiddordeb hefyd mewn technoleg.
Felly I lancio'r podlediad newydd yma, ni am sôn am bwnc sy'n bwysig iawn I ffermwyr yng Nghymru, sef ein gallu I dyfu a rheoli porfa.
Ia, un o'n prif gryfderau ni fel ffermwyr Cymru yw'r hinsawdd ardderchog sy'n bodoli yma I dyfu glaswell o safon. Ond, a dim yn manteisio digon ar y cryfder yma.
Felly, mwyn darganfod sut gallwn dyfu a gwneud gwell defnydd o borfa, eithom I weld James Daniels, arbenigwr yn y maes a chyfarwyddwr cwmni Precision Grazing, a hefyd Rhydyan Glyn sy'n ffermio'n Rhywgriafol ger Machynlleth, a mae hefyd un o ffermydd arddangos cyswllt ffermio. Hi, you're listening to the Ear to the Ground podcast with me, Ale Jones. I'm joined by my co-presenter, Jim Ellis, and I'm also here at Rhywgriafol Farm with Rhydyan Glyn and James Daniels. For the benefit of our listeners out there, it'd probably be easier if everybody introduced themselves quickly. If I can start with you, Rhydyan, the farmer here at Rhywgriafol.
Hello, my name is Rhydyan Glyn. We farm, myself and my wife, here since 2014.
Yeah, and James Daniel, Director of Precision Grazing. We're a farm consultancy business and based across England and Wales. I myself is based in England, and I've got 2 colleagues, both Rhys and David, who work in Wales.
Brilliant, and Jim as well is here.
So I finished beef cattle and I've started dabbling in rotational grazing, so I'm very interested in to hear both have got to say, really.
Yeah, because today we're here just ahead of an event that's happening on Rhywgriafol called Improving Grassland Management and Flock Genetics on an Upland Farm. And now, we all know how important grassland management is. We're in Wales, a country which is pretty good at growing grass, hopefully, and utilising that grass is going to be a sort of a challenge going forward, I guess. But turning to you, James, and you're an expert in this field, you're a consultant delivering advice all across the UK, and a lot of farmers are looking into rotational grazing options, and certainly I've noticed a lot more discussions around rotational grazing. But perhaps it'd be good just to start off by explaining the key principles by what you mean by rotational grazing.
Yeah, no, of course. I think it's probably worth looking at first at the motivators for doing so, and maybe why people have looked at it more this year than ever. I think a lot of that comes around to the potential cost savings and some of the benefits that are around those to the business. Most farms are spending a certain amount of money or a certain percentage of their income on fertiliser and feed, and sometimes they're spending money on those inputs to substitute a lack of grazing management. So if they start to improve their grazing management, the input costs can be reduced, and for every £1 you do not spend, is a £1 of extra profit that stays in the pocket at the end of the year.
And I guess when the cost of inputs increase, like you mentioned, fertiliser and feed, for example, that's an incentive for farmers to look at making the most from the grass.
It is, yeah. And again, Wales is perfectly well set up to grow a lot of high quality grass if it's managed well. Yeah. And events like this today with Farming Connect are really good at demonstrating best practice, which really is doing a fantastic job at, and people can see how it's working in practice, what's involved, and hopefully come away with a motivator to start doing it. And we're seeing that happen a lot, especially the last 2 years.
Because I was taken aback by a statistic recently whereby only 50% of the grass we grow is fully utilised on farms, which essentially, if you look at it from the other direction, we waste half the grass that we grow. So talk to me about how can you utilise, if we can grow it, how do we make the best use of it afterwards? Yeah.
The conversation on the topic wasting grass, or we wasted the grass, is quite interesting. In most cases, the grass isn't wasted. The grass that's not consumed is going back into the soil, and that's feeding the organisms, and that's helping grow more grass. Yeah. So grass is never wasted. Rhydyan here, for instance, for the year to date, is growing, or forecast to grow, around 7.5 tonnes of grass, of which he'll utilise 6 tonnes.
Right, I see.
Now he's utilising around extra 2 tonnes compared to the average farm in Wales. So to utilise more grass, you've got to be able to grow more of it.
Yes.
And the principles of growing grass generally stem from soil pH. If your soil's at the right pH, you'll have more available nitrogen, more available phosphorus, and more available potassium. And that happens almost instantly. Whereas you correct that pH, more of those are available, so your industry is getting an improvement. So pH is the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing normally is the grazing management. And if we can not spend longer than 5 days in one place, and we don't return to that field to graze it within 3 to 4 weeks, then the farm will grow. The productivity of that field will be better.
Well, I guess grazing management is just one side of it. As you mentioned earlier, fundamentally, from the very beginning, you've got to get the soil right. And the soil health has to be working correctly. And turning to you, Rhifyn, you're the farmer here at Cylchdro. Have you done a lot of soil sampling to try and, understand what condition your soils are in, and how do you go about improving them?
Yeah, when I took over the farm, I was quite lucky that the farm was in quite good heart. So initially we sampled the whole place for pH, P's and K's, and yeah, they were quite good really. But since then, so every year I sample 1/3 of the farm, and then address whatever deficiencies there are. So we usually put about 100 to 150 tonne of lime down every year, and yeah, so at the moment we're trying to push up further than the 6 pH, push that up to that 6.3, and that we do see a response in grass growth.
And do you think that you've got to get that right before you start thinking about rotational grazing and getting the infrastructure in place and the fencing and the paddock systems? Have you first of all got to really get to grips with the soil?
It's a bit of both, I think. Yeah, if you want to really push on, yeah, you've got to have the soil, the pH is right, P's and K's, and yeah, then subdivide a bit.
And did you realise that, fairly early on, how important the lime was and the soil?
Yes, I suppose. I don't know, it's just something that's kind of, yeah, I try and make sure that it's right. If you know it's right, you know you're going to grow some grass.
And how long until when have you started the rotational grazing?
When we took over, it was just a sheep farm with 800 ewes here, and there hadn't been any cattle here for about 12 years. So although good soil health, this place was a bit sheep sick. So a friend of mine was looking for somewhere to contract rear heifers, so we started with 31 dairy heifers and just strip grazed them on 2 fields, and the improvement in those 2 fields was amazing. There was less weeds because they were just eating everything, and yeah, the fields were looking better and growing more grass.
So you believe in the benefits of mixed grazing, in a farm which hadn't had cattle for quite some years. You've really seen the benefit of reintroducing some cattle here.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it helps build fertility. Obviously, the muck and the muck from when they're in the sheds over the winter as well. Yeah.
So how much new infrastructure have you had to put in place to establish this rotational system?
It's just a matter of splitting fields. The biggest fields you've got, split them down. Even if it's just splitting them in half to begin with, that it just improves management. So you're able to graze it better or improve it better. We've put with James, we put 2 different techno grazing systems in, using Kiwi Tech products, and that's worked quite well. It's making the management easier as well. And then I've done on my own as well, split down some other fields, trying to get the average paddock size down to between 1 hectare and 2 hectares.
Oh, I see. And you referred to the techno grazing. Now, James, we hear different labels. We mentioned cell grazing, techno grazing, rotational. Are they essentially the same thing?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, in principle, rotational grazing is probably the most common name. There's lots of different names, and in essence, they all mean the same thing. So, whatever the style of grazing, it differs from conventional management, which is we call set stocking. So under set stocking, the animals remain in one place for a prolonged period of time. Under grazing management, whether that's rotational, cell grazing, mob grazing, block grazing, that sort of management involves the animals moving in a planned way around a series of paddocks or fields. So I went back to the principles I said at the start, is ideally stock wouldn't remain in the same field or paddock for more than 5 days. If we went to, let's say, normally cell grazing or techno grazing, we'd probably move those stock 3 times a week. So they're not in the one place for as long. Those methods come with a higher requirement for infrastructure, so that may be temporary fencing or the need to have smaller fields, but that's somewhat offset in the ability to keep more animals per hectare.
So are you carrying more stock, do you know?
Yes, on total, but we are also farming more land as well. We're up to 850 breeding ewes plus replacements, and then at the moment we've got 100 contract rearing heifers and 200 heifers that I've bought.
Yeah. Do you envisage you're going to increase again further with more improvements on the grazing side of things?
Yeah, well, that's what we were just doing earlier, was using the Farmax model, so we can so I can work out what stock levels I can keep going into next year. So and
that's quite a change in the way farmers approach managing their grazing platform, because a lot of the work revolves around gathering data, putting the data into software such as Farmax, for example, and then that can help with the decision-making process around what grass availability will be at your farm at a particular point in time. Yeah,
absolutely correct. Quite an interesting time of farming in that the need for farm businesses to be profitable without subsidy is going to be continued importance. And so when we're making decisions on farm, particularly when we're making system changes, and so we work with a lot of farmers that are maybe saying, do I increase the sheep or do I increase the cattle? Do I maybe sell the suckler cows and rear calves? Do I increase the suckler cows? Do I mate my ewe lambs? Should I put in a forage crop for the winter? Should I put my ewes on tack? But all of this we're not quite sure what it's going to look like until we get there.
Yeah.
It can be quite expensive, and it continues to amaze me sometimes where you arrive on farm and someone's about to make a decision that's probably worth £50,000 to the business, and they're going to do it and see what happens. And that makes me quite nervous.
Yeah.
So using Farmax for Rhifyn, so Farmax is a feed budgeting software, so we've got a model of Rhifyn's farm. It's quite simple. It just says what stock are on it and how quick are they growing and when do the ewes get tucked and that type of thing. We're comparing it with what grass that we know you can grow, and we're seeing, well, does the two fit? So the demand the stock have at different times of the year, do they match what the farm can supply? So obviously Rhifyn this year we look at lambing outdoors with everything.
Pushing lambing date further on, so lambing rather than end of March.
Later in the season where there's more grass, presumably.
Yeah,
because what's the height of the farm here where we're sat now?
800 feet.
Yeah. And then the place you're renting now is slightly lower down at 600?
Yeah, 500-600,
Yeah, so grass growth here is just naturally later. The plan we're putting together with Rhifyn that you followed pretty well last year is to get the ewes off the grass a bit earlier. We're trying to give the fields we want to lamb on what we hope will be maybe close to 110 to 120 days actually of rest. So the fields that get grazed in October, and then November we rested until March. So hopefully the ewes will return to grass, certainly the twins at least, won't it?
Yeah.
Will return to grass 3 to 4 weeks before lambing, and therefore won't need concentrate, providing there's sufficient grass when they go back.
And when you've got newborn lambs, you're lambing outdoors, obviously you want to minimise disruption on the flock. So how do you manage the rotation without disrupting too much of the young animals? Yeah.
Well, talk us through what happened this year.
So I won't be moving them as much when they're lambing. It's more, you go back to set stocking and maybe drift lambing.
So what is drift lambing? Sorry.
So moving the ewes that have lambed forward, or moving
shedding them.
Shedding them,
I see. Yeah,
shedding them out all the time.
And once the lambs are strong enough, presumably, then they don't mind being moved to the 3-4 day cycle or something.
Outdoor lambing, completely agree. Minimum disruption. Little management decisions like rattling the rams at mating and having the ability to split that 800 ewe flock into ones that are going to lamb in the first 10 days, the second and the third 10 days.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because if the ewes in the first 10 days go into maybe 3 fields, for one in the morning you know where to head, because that's where the ewes are going to be lambing first.
Yeah.
And then also, if we need to, there's 3 groups of older ewes that we can maybe join a couple of groups together once they're 3 to 4 weeks of age. And if we need to, maybe start a rotation.
And what is the kind of main difference between, you talking about kind of a relaxed rotation to start and a more, moving them every single day maybe? What is the main difference? Because I have friends who say that they do rotational grazing because they move their cattle to different fields already.
Yeah.
How much of a difference is there between that and what Rhifyn's maybe doing here?
There's a good saying that the bigger your overdraft, the more often you should move your stock. And the hidden meaning behind that is that grass productivity all comes around from obviously grazing it when it's the right height, not grazing it too low that you take away all the leaf area, but also once the grass plant or any plant's been grazed, it needs time to recover. It needs time to regrow its leaves, replenish its root reserves, so that the next time it's grazed, it can do the same thing again very quickly.
Yeah. By adopting that sort of system, does that prolong the life of a sward, or do you need to reseed on a regular basis?
I think you're promoting ryegrass, because that's the grass that
recovers quickly.
And it grows better. So some of the swords I've got here are probably 20, 30-year-old, and they're looking better now than they did.
Yeah, so you've improved an old sward just simply by management.
Yeah, by grazing it better.
And with the correct pH.
Of course.
Yeah. Putting that through turn of lime is...
And that's where we're talking about what do you do first. The grazing management and pH. Put those together straight away and kind of see what happens. If that sward hasn't improved by grazing management, then you've started with the pH correction, so when you came to reseed, you're already on the front foot, rather than not correcting the pH and just waiting to see what happened. But because you did both together, I say there's 25, 30-year-old lays on this farm, which you would swear were 5, 6 years old.
And for you, Rhifyn, are you one of the very few farmers in the area, you'd say, doing a similar system, or are there other neighbouring farms sort of following a similar pattern?
Yeah, there's a few, quite a few in each area that have adopted some form of rotational grazing. And
how important is the network on Twitter been to help you and kind of advice? Because I've had advice from you and from others, and it's been a massive help. How have you found it?
There's Twitter, which is quite handy, but also the discussion groups with precision grazing. You meet like-minded people and share what works and what doesn't work. It's a positive thing.
I'm sure as a consultant, getting involved in those discussion groups is quite refreshing, because you're sharing your time and your expertise with progressive farmers. But equally on the other side, you might have some farmers who say, I can't do rotational grazing, it's because it costs too much in fences, it's going to be too difficult to get water supplies, what happens if the weather turns bad, this is Wales, it rains a lot. What's your response to them? How do you communicate the benefits of the system to them? It's
up for the farmer to decide how he gauges his success. So for some farmers, success may mean more money in the bank at the end of the year, and so you might be able to say, okay, so you're driven by a profit per hectare. For some people, it may be lifestyle. They've got to earn enough money, but it may be the days they spend away from the farm, which is good. Some farmers, it may be having a really nice looking herd of cattle in front of the house. That's what they define success as. Choose what makes you successful. If your success is driven around that lifestyle and profit comes into it, then you can't really afford to ignore the benefits of rotational grazing.
It also requires probably a new skill set as well, because there's a degree of work around capturing data, measuring grass, inputting data, manipulating and getting the interpretations from software systems. That's a very new way of farming that will be alien to some people.
That's all down the road. The first thing to do if someone's not doing it is to start. Assuming you've got 4 to 6 fields on the farm that are stock-proof and have water, which I'd argue you can't call it a field if it's not stock-proof and hasn't got water. So as soon as you've got 4 to 6 of those, and there's a group of animals, it could be a group of weaned lambs. So if they can graze out all of those fields within a week, that is a rotational grazing system. And farmers do not lack the skill sets, they can learn those, but confidence probably is what maybe is lacking, the belief that they will be okay. And that's why the discussion groups and a bit of social media has been so positive. But the best thing with rotational grazing is we struggle with beef and sheep to get instant feedback. If we're milking every day, we've got the results in the tank.
Yeah.
Whereas imagine if you went to your field and every lamb had a little bubble above it with their current growth rate. You'd instantly know if you're doing a good or bad job. Grazing, however, can give you almost, you get feedback 2 or 3 times a week in terms of how well you've done. So you go to move them and you can see that they've maybe grazed the covers a little bit too low. Yeah. So that's instant feedback that, there wasn't as much there as I thought there was, or they're eating more than I expected. So you've got a bit more hand on what's going on.
And it's interesting, farmers all over the world obviously experiment in management systems, and I guess New Zealand and Ireland are considered to be sort of world leaders in their grassland management. And I'm particularly intrigued to learn more about Ireland, because you'd imagine they've got similar climatic conditions to Wales, very similar land profile, soil profile, landscapes. What can we learn from them that will be applicable here?
You spent some time in Ireland, Rhifyn?
Yeah, we went over there in the spring for Positive Farmers Conference. They're very keen, especially the dairy guys.
I think Ireland's applying the principles of rotational grazing very well. So there's no real difference in what's happening in Wales, just perhaps with a bit more marketing.
From a production point of view, communication and sharing best practice is going to be key, and this is something you're heavily involved with, both of you. And this afternoon we're holding up actually in preparations in advance of the Farming Connect event. Rhifyn, tell me very, very quickly what's going to be happening here in a matter of a few hours' time.
So James is going to do a talk on, I'm assuming, rotational grazing and pasture management. And also somebody from HCC are coming to do a talk about a scheme looking at improving genetics of hill sheep.
How important do you think is the split between management and genetics in your instance?
It's difficult to quantify. I'd say you need the correct genetics, but management makes more difference.
Yeah. You can have the ram with the best figures. However, if his progeny, his lambs that he's sired, are underfed, then they won't ever exhibit this potential. The mark of a good farmer is how well he provides the feed of the right quality at the right quantity at the right time, so that the stock performs to the very best of their potential.
Well, it's been fascinating off with Jim and myself. We really enjoyed having the chat with you, and I know the farmers are going to come later on. They're going to benefit from this knowledge as well. I'm sure, as Ddaear, you've done for quite a few times, you've hosted a number of groups, and keep being active on social media, because people like Jim and myself then can pick up some nuggets of wisdom, hopefully, over the next few months and years. So thank you very much to James, Rhifyn and Jim, and for everything for this afternoon, and all the best for the event later on.
Cool, thank you.
Diolch yn fawr. Dyna oedd ein trafodaeth gyda James Daniels o gwmni Precision Grazing a Rhyddian Glyn o fferm Rhywgriafol.
Wedi ein hysbrydoli gan yr hyn a glwsom gan James a Rhyddian, roedd yn amweld ffarmwr arall a oedd eisiau gwella rheolaeth porfa, drwy fabwysiadu rhai o'r technegau a drafodwyd.
Felly, aethom i weld Irwel Jones o fferm Aberbranddu yng Nghwrt y Cadno. Wel, Irwel Jones, diolch am gytuno i fod yn rhan o podlediad Clust i'r Ddaear. Mae'n hyfryd i gael bod yma yn Aberbranddu, a dwi'n nabod Aberbranddu eitha da, achos ges i'n eni ac i fagu jyst ar y ffarm drws nesaf fel bytai, ffarm Tyllwyd, ond i rheini felly sydd ddim yn nabod Aberbranddu mor dda. Esboniwch ychydig o gefndir y ffarm.
Wel, Aberbranddu yn ymhen uchaf Cwm Cothi, lan wrth y pen top de. Y Cothi wrth gwrs yn mynd lawr tuag at Gyfyrddin. I ni fan hyn ar ei ard tua 650 drydweddi o ar lefel y môr, a ni'n mynd lan i 1,300 o drydweddi hyd at y môr. Mae'r ffarm yma yn 650 o erwe, ond dim ond tua hanner o'n i ni gallu ffarmio, fel chi gallu gweld, neu welwch chi. Mae'n lot o god yma a lot o natur i gael yma. Felly ar y 300 hwnna, ni'n ffermio tua 900 o ddefed a tua 20 o fichod signo ar y funed.
A mae'n ffarm fynydd wrth gwrs, a mae'n arosfad y ti hefyd ar mynydd mewn llan?
Os mae dyn ni hawl i bori rhyw 250 o ddefed ar y mynydd ochr draw i'r tŷ de.
A ti'n bridio defed mynydd Cymreig teip Tregaron wedyn?
Ie, teip Tregaron yw'r teip lleol, a mae'n rhywbeth fi'n credu'n grif yno bod nhw'n ddefed lleol sy'n arfer ar Ddaear. Maen nhw'n ffynnu yn yr yn y tywydd glib sydd yn ei fan hyn, a maen nhw'n allwch chi groesi rhywbeth arnyn nhw i gael wy'n cigydd wedyn.
Wyt ti'n bridio nhw yn bir wedyn, a nes ti hefyd croesi i greu'r o'n tew hefyd?
Na, mae rhyw 2 dreian yn mynd yn bir i fagu wy'n menw i ddod nôl mewn i'r ddiadell, a hefyd hwrdod blwyddi i werthu, a wedyn mae treian yn cael ei croesi wedyn gyda hwrdd Aberfield i gael gwerthu wy'n menw a gwerthu cael bach o premium gobeithio.
Dwi'n gweld. A beth am y fiche signo wedyn? Pa bridiau ti'n cadw fyna?
Limousin pyr yw'r hanner yr fiches, a wedyn mae gennym ni gymysgedd o groesfryd Continentals wedyn, a rhoi tarw limousin nôl dros popeth.
Gwerthu stor wedyn?
Ie, gwerthu'n stor, lloi gwrw yn 80 mis, a'r lloi menw wedyn yn tua 19 i 20 mis, a falle bydd ambell un yn mynd i fridio.
A mae'r system yn debyg i'r system o dy dad yn ffarmo yma?
Odi yn weddol debyg o ran yr enterprises de, ond ni'n mynd nawr tual neu gwyll iws o'r borfa, mae'r byd yn newid, mae costiau gwrtaeth a cec wedi mynd fyny, so ni'n trial bod mwy effeithiol, ambell waith yn ffeili i fe, a trial iws o'r llai o ddwysfwyd, a hefyd wneud gwell iws o'r gwrtaeth a targedu fe at beth sydd eisiau ar y borfa.
A mae hwnna'n rhywbeth ti wedi bod yn edrych arno pan nes ti yn safle arddangos i gyswllt ffermio. Oedd sawl prosiect ti ar waith pryd hynny, ond mae trial bod yn mwy effeithlon wedi bod yn thema'n rhedeg trwyddyn nhw gyd.
Wel, mae hwnna'n rhywbeth. Ni wastad wedi'i wneud, oedd dad yn wastad yn trial mynd yn mwy effeithiol. Os ych chi'n stopo wneud ni, os chi'n sefyll yn yr unfan, chi'n mynd sian ôl i fe. Felly pan dath y cyfle i fod yn fferm arddangos, oedd e'n rhywbeth yn naturiol i drio amdano, achos o'n i moyn gwneud y gorau a cymryd mantes o'r cyngor a'r siawns i drial pethau. Falle bydden ni ddim yn trial se fi heb yn cael yr help, yr ymgynghoriad, a hefyd bach o help at yr cyfarpar y pethau fe.
Wrth gwrs, mi fues ti'n safle arddangos am rhyw 2 blynedd, a beth nes ti yn y cyfnod hynny?
Wel, ni wedi bod yn edrych ar ddilliau gwahanol o gorffen wy'n a mwy na'r dulliau, y cost oedd tu ôl iddo fe. Hefyd byddwn ni'n edrych ar Pori Cylchdro adol yn benna, a wedyn yn ddiweddarach ni wedi bod yn mynd trwy llinell amser y ddafad o hwrdda i gwerthu'r wy'n i weld beth allai wedi best practice, a falle bod ni ddim yn mynd i wella ffindo un peth sy'n mynd i wella daily life weight gain yn unig, ond os wellwn ni tyma bach ar bopeth, fellwn ni wneud mwy o wellad wedyn, yma.
A yn y podlediad yma, dyn ni'n canolbwyntio wrth gwrs ar rheoli porfa. Nawr, ti wedi penderfynu i gyflwyno system o Pori Cylchdro, traws newid y ffarm o system set stocking fel petai. Sut brofiad mae hwnna wedi bod?
Wel, mae wedi agor llygad i faint o borfa dim jyst ni gallu tyfu, ond faint i gallu ddefnyddio. Fi'n credu mae'r ystadeg yn y wlad yw bod ni dim ond yn ddefnyddio tua 50% o'r borfa ni'n dyfu. Felly, gan bod ni'n talu am y gwrtaeth i roi arno fe, mae'n bwysig bod ni'n treul wneud y mwyaf ohoni. A just faint fwy o borfa ni gallu tyfu a iwso yw'r peth mwyaf efe. Ni wedi cael cyngor gan James Daniel yn y cychwyn cyntaf, ond fi wedi treul mynd mlaen a datblygu beth wnaethon ni gyda James, a treul mynd â fe ymestyn y mas dros mwy o'r ffarm, ond mae hwnnw yn gallu bod yn jobyn slow, yn enwedig wrth drial cael y dŵr yn i bob cae, a hefyd cael yr ffensys yn iawn.
Wrth gwrs, mae'r ochr ymarferol yn bwysig, ond wyt ti'n credu bod e'n anoddach i ffarm fynydd i sefydlu system Pori Cylchdro?
Na, bydden ni ddim yn gweud ni. Mae lawr i'r pob person ar wneud y pwys na i wneud fi'n credu. Bydde fe bach yn rhwyddach, os ceau bach dych chi'n barod. Wneud y pethau rhwydd yn gyntaf, y pethau sy'n mynd i fod y fwyaf o fydd fe. Os ydych chi 6 4 neu 5 cyfer yn barod, wel mae'n rhwydd i wneud yr Pori Cylchdro wedyn, ond fel gyda ni ar y top fyna, oedd gyda ni 200 cyfer ar y top yn 11 o geiau. Felly oedd y cyfartaledd tua 15 cyfer, so wedyn oedd lot o waith rhan i wneud.
Oedd Pori Cylchdro rhywbeth o ti wedi bod yn edrych arno cyn amser yn safle arddangos, neu oedd e'n rhywbeth o ti wedi cyfeirio mwy o ddiddordeb yn y blynyddoedd diwetha?
Wel, yn sicr, o'n i ddim yn set stoco fel y traddodiadol, ta beth, o'n i wastad yn oedd 2 ga a symud nôl o un i'r llall er mwyn cael peth gorffwys i'r borfa efe, ond a oedd e'n rhywbeth oedd diddordeb, ond mae bod yn rhan o'r fferm arddangos wedi galluogi fi i edrych mwy ma'n ôl mewn iddo fe.
Yn sicr, mae droi ysbardyn, a mae yna lot yn sôn am Pori Cylchdro nawr, a mwy yn siarad am fanteision y system. Wel, Irwel, lycsyn ni'n mynd i weld bach o'r Pori Cylchdro seti yma yn Aberbranddu. Gewn ni fynd lan i weld nhw?
Ie, ma'n amande.
Wel, Irwel, ni newydd gyrraedd top y ffarm. Faint o droedfeddi ni yma ar hyn o bryd?
Wel, ni lan bod ti 12.50 fan hyn nawr o droedfeddi uwch y môr de. A fan hyn mae'r rhan fwyaf o'r top ar y lefel hyn de. Mae'n serth i ddod lan yma, ond mae'n weddol bach unwaith bod chi ar y top.
Mae'n gwerth gweld war y teg, mae'n dipyn o borfa. Mae wedi bod yn flwyddyn dda ar gyfer tyfiant eleni, yn dwi?
Odi, mae wedi bod yn exceptional a gweud y gwir. Bod i wedi bod yn eitha oer y glib yng nghanol yr haf, so mae pethau wedi ifno mas, ond allwn ni ddim cwyno am flwyddyn fel ni de.
A sbonio fi, sut ydy wedi mynd ati nawr i hollti'r ceia yma lan i rhoi'r system Pori Cylchdro yna mewn lle?
Wel, mae'r rhan fwyaf ar top yma wedi ei wella yn ystod y 70-80 amser grantiau pethau ar gael. Felly oedd ni yn dechrau off, oedd 11 o ddarnau ar y top yma, a tua 200 cyfer. So oedd y rhan fwyaf o'r ceia yn either yn 15 neu'n 20 erw neu'r rhywle in between. Felly, fel o'n i'n gweld ffordd rhwyddaw, oedd mynd am rhywbeth 5 cyfer. Fel rhywbeth cael, ddim rhy fach, ond ddim rhy fawr hefyd. Amser ni yn neud y trials gyda ar y dechrau, bydd ni un o'r ceia fan hyn mewn 6 darn, 2 gyfer a hanner. A beth o'n i'n ffindio i'r rhif o ddefed o'n i'n lyco rhedeg gyda'i gilydd, sef rhyw 180 i 200 o dwins. Oedd hwnnw yn symud bach rhy aml. So mae rhaid cael y balans na fi'n credu rhwng mae'r ddafad yn moyn pori gymaint o le a mae gallu gael, fel mae'r hyn ddwedod yn gweud Gilyn pen a dafad yw dafad arall i fe. A o ran y borfa, byddech chi'n hoffi symud bob dydd neu bob yn ail ddydd. So, fi di mynd am rhywbeth bach mwy o balans. So, o flan i fan hyn nawr, mae 9 o gyfeiri, bron yn 30, so mae 6 darn o 5 cyfer. So, byddwn ni'n meddwl bod ni'n symud rhain wedyn, amser mae'n tyfu'n mwy o cyflym, falle byddwn ni'n mynd am symud bob 3 diwrnod. Amser mae'n slow i lawr, falle byddwn ni'n symud bob 6 diwrnod. Fel yr dywediad arall de, symud nhw'n gloi amser mae'n tyfu'n gloi a slow o lawr amser mae'n symud tyfu bach mwy araf de. So mae 6 plot o 5 cyfer, mae 30 cyfer a mae hwnnw fi'n gobeithio yn dala 180 i 200 o dwins trwy'r haf a wedyn yr ŵyn ar ôl ni. A falle bydd ar flwyddyn dda byddwn ni'n tynnu darn mas am sylwair, am flwyddyn le mae ddim yn tyfu gystal, byddwn ni ddim yn gwneud sylwair y gwbl.
A pan mae'r ŵyn yn ifanc, wyt ti'n teimlo dyle ti ddim symud nhw cweit mor aml, felly pan mae'r defyd ŵyn ar y dechrau fyna?
Wel, ni'n cadw nhw wedi stocio set stoc de am ryw 2 wythnos i fish, a wedyn o mis mlaen byddai'r lot o 100 falle mynd â'i gilydd a wedyn yn bildo lan araf i'r 200 a i symud gyda fel mae'r porfant y fi. Ni'n gallu wyna'r efeilliad lawr ar y ddaear sylwair lawr y gwylod ar ddaear le mae'r da a wedyn wrth bod y tyfiant yn cynyddu mae'n dod lan fan hyn a llanw'r top lan fan hyn.
Mae'r ŵyn wedi cryfhau erbyn hynny, wrth gwrs. Felly mae'n 200 cyfer y ti fan hyn, Irwel, a ti'n esbonio mi ar y ffordd fyny bod ti wedi penderfynu i holli'n lan i tua 40 o geiau fyna, dipyn o geiau fyna.
Wel, na'r end goal fel maen nhw'n gweud, unwaith bod ni wedi sortio dŵr allan, fi'n gobeithio, fel wedys ti, mae'n 200 cyfer yma, yr ei mew rhywle rhwng 4 a 6 cyfer, so bydd da ni tua 40 erbyn ni, a bydd ni'n rhoi bydd pethau lot mwy hyblyg wedyn, lot mwy o flexibility dyn ni i manager borfa yn rhwyddach a gwneud y mwyaf o gobeithio.
Pan o ti'n neud y trials, pan o ti'n safle'r ddangos, o ti'n brysur iawn wrth gwrs yn mesur y porfad ar plate meter. Esbonio bach mwy ar y broses hynny?
Wel, amser oedd y trial man yn y 6 cynde, o'n i'n mesur yn wythnosol, a mae rhaid fi gyfadde bod fi ddim wedi cadw hynny lande. Amser yw'r excuse de, ond a hefyd, i ryw raddau, chi'n cael eich llygad mewn unwaith bod chi'n mesur am spel, ond yn sicr, unwaith bod y cei gyd wedi rhannu lan, byddwn ni'n gobeithio ailgydio yn y mesur a gallu defnyddio rhywbeth ar y cyfrifiadur wedyn i helpu fi wneud y mathemateg.
Yn sicr, mae'n helpu i wybod faint o dyfiant sydd wedi bod, a faint o dynelli o drai mater y hectar wyt ti'n ar gyfartaledd fan hyn nawr?
Wel, ar y flwyddyn byddwn ni'n recordio i'r trial yma, fe dyfon ni ryw 7 tunnell rhwng mis Mai a diwedd Medi, a felly byddwn ni'n cael tunnell arall bob pen y flwyddyn. So byddwn ni'n gweud bod ni'n mynd â ni bwyty 9, ochr ychau 9 tunnell ar y ceau hyn.
Gan ystyried ar gyfartaledd am ffarm yn Ucheldir fan hyn i'r 6 neu 7 tunnell, ti'n neud yn dda fyna? Wel,
estimates yw a mae eisiau gwneud lot mwy o recordio cyn bod fi gallu gweud yn iawn.
Ond mae rholi'r porfa yn un peth, ond mae rhaid sicrhau hefyd bod ffrwythlondeb a iechyd y pridd yn sefyllfa da hefyd.
Ie, mae un peth ni wedi gwneud lot o rhoi calch, a fi'n credu bod calch yn bwysig iawn, y peth cyntaf i sorto mas a gweud y gwir. A hefyd wneud siŵr bod yr P's a K's yn gywir hefyd wedyn fe. Rhywbeth arall sydd eisiau edrych arno hefyd yw compaction yn y ddaear, a mae'n rhywbeth ni heb rhoi lot o sylw i, ond gobeithio byddwn ni'n neud dros y blynyddoedd nesaf.
A hefyd, wrth gwrs, ti'n gweld y ffensys, mae electric fences ti wedi rhoi lan. Mae cael dŵr yn pob un o'r ceau yma wedi bod yn drafferthus weithiau.
Wel, mae'n job i gael dŵr i fynd lan y rhyw fe. A mae'n rhywbeth i ni yn cadw i edrych mewn i ffindo rhywbeth sy'n effeithiol am y gost i fe. Achos hynny yw, allwn ni gael dŵr os ni eisiau, ond mae'r cost yn mynd i wneud ddim werth falle.
Oes yna grantiau i gael i helpu gyda'r gost?
Dim lot ar y funed, ond fi'n credu falle bydd yn rhywbeth bydd yn dod gyda'r sgîm newydd i gael dan yr cap newydd neu beth bydd i enw fe. I gael ffermwyr mwy effeithiol, ond...
Cwestiwn yw wedyn pryd eithaf yna, dy fe?
Gwmwrs i fe.
Felly, ti'n credu'n gryf i'r wrth gwrs yn fanteision Pori Cylchdro, ond beth nesaf? Beth yw'r camau nesaf yna? Beth yw'r gynllun di nawr yn y blynyddoedd sydd i ddod?
Wel, mae rhaid fi fenni'r cynllun gyntaf cael y dŵr ar porfa yn ei le, cadw i trio wella'r stoc drwy'r recordio perfformiad, a dal potbeth at ei gilydd.
Wel, fi'n llawn hyderus bod ti'n mynd i llwyddo i wneud Wel, a diolch unwaith eto am ddangos ni o amgylch fferm Aberbranddu. Mae'r lle'n edrych yn anhygoel a mae tyfiant porfa eleni wedi bod yn rhagorol. Diolch o'r iawn i ti, Rwyl. A dyna ni wedi cyrraedd diwedd ein podlediad cyntaf.
Diolch i chi gyd am rando.
A diolch hefyd i James, Rhydian ac Irwel am rhannu'r hyn maen nhw wedi wneud gyda ni.
Gobeithio yn fawr eich bod wedi mwynhau ein cwmni a cofiwch tan ysgrifio i'r podlediad os ydych am glywed mwy.
Ie, achos y tro nesaf byddwn yn rhoi sylw i ddigwyddiad newydd cyswllt ffermio, sef arloesi ac arallgyfeirio Cymru, sy'n cael ei gynnal ar faes y sioe yn Llanelwedd ar y 26 o Fedi.
Mwy am hynny yn y bennod nesaf o Clust i'r Ddaear.
Felly wrtha i, Ale Jones.
A fi, Jim Ellis.
Hwyl fawr.